So a Pro Football Focus came out with something, and they were talking when Cam Newton signed yesterday. They said, there's this history in the NFL of good quarterbacks having huge years. And they had 5 different, I remember a couple years ago, had this theory. The rest of it is basketball player I've ever seen in my life. So those games are going to be in the A on this. It's not career stats. I'm not interested in that. Starting tomorrow, this is the easy one, Patrick Mahomes. Not a big argument here. A defined pocket passer. He can move. He also has the best play designer, arguably, in the NFL, and Andy Reid. Highest career passer rating in NFL history at 110. He's got a big arm sometimes, takes a little risk, but he's everything you want. I mean, they're going to be a Super Bowl favorite as long as he has a decent offensive line and Andy Reid is there for, 9 of the next 12 years. So he's what everybody's trying to be. He's Aaron Rodgers 6 years ago before the injuries. He's what everybody wants. Number two, Lamar Jackson. I could argue there are defensive coordinators. If you told them who would they rather face, they know they'd lose to Mahomes, but they could be humiliated by Lamar Jackson. He's just different. There's nobody else like him. He's getting better from his senior year in college to his rookie year to last year. He's made big leaps. He's the youngest quarterback to ever win the MVP at 22 years old, and they're still not paying him anything, and he is now surrounded by nothing but dudes. So he's number 2.
Number 3.
Deshaun Watson. Listen, running for his life, 34 touchdowns last year. I'm done talking. 34 touchdowns last year. Some of them rushing with a bad O-line. This is a guy that had 300-plus yards passing in a football game and a playoff game. 3 touchdowns, no giveaways, and lost. It's the best line for any quarterback ever that's lost a playoff game. So Deshaun's 3rd.
Number 4.
I'll go with Ben.
Fuck no.
Because the last time I saw him play, he...
Fuck no. Hell no. Let's just keep watching. I
led the NFL in passing yards. He had over 5,000 yards, and he's still big and strong, and they have a great O-line, unbelievable front 7 defensively, plus Minkah Fitzpatrick, good GM. So I like a lot of what he's surrounded by, but I think this morning, the last time I saw him play and what he's surrounded by, I'd put him 4, but not necessarily too far ahead of number 5.
Number 5.
I'm going to go Josh Allen. I think he has the great young coach. He's got the Kyle Shanahan on defense, Sean McDermott. They also upgraded their offensive line last year. They have really done a good job. He got him Cole Beasley in the slot, got him John Brown.
Just for record, I think Cam Newton's a better quarterback than both these guys. But I'm high on Josh Allen, though. I like Josh Allen a lot. He saved not really saved because my fantasy team was ass last year, but he saved my quarterback predicament for fantasy football. All them rushing touchdowns he got a big arm. I like him, and I think with Stephon Diggs at wide receiver, that's going to help him out a lot. But is he better than Cam? Nah. Is Roethlisberger better than Cam? Nah.
And then they went and got him Stephon Diggs, who may be the second best deep threat in the NFL right now. Antonio Brown was, but now I think it's D-Hop in Arizona and him. Now, Josh Allen led him to a 10-win season, first time since the 90s. He's raw. But I saw some breakthrough moments last year. And remember, he has not yet kind of been allowed to show off his arm. He's the only quarterback in the NFL last year with 0 completions where the ball traveled over 35 yards. They didn't have any deep threat. That's not really what they do. So now, another off season, he got a deep threat. That's the best defense, in my opinion, in the AFC with Baltimore. Next.
Number 6.
An inch behind him, Cam Newton. So I put Cam here. Now, he's never had... Josh Allen's had no injuries, and Josh Allen right now has a younger defense, a better deep threat than Cam. Cam's got no tight end in New England with any NFL experience. He does not have a deep threat. I think it's a really limited offensive team that has to score on 11-play drives. And I think that's asking a lot of any quarterback. It's what infuriated Tom Brady last year. Now, in the last couple of years, Cam's lost a lot. Some of it's injuries. Some of it is, he just wasn't good enough. But I would put him 6 behind Josh Allen. And I think it's close. With Cam, I get history. With Josh, I get no injuries, and I think a better defense. Well, it was, but last year, Buffalo's defense was better than New England. It just took about 8 weeks to figure it out.
Number 7.
Okay, Baker Mayfield. Now again,
No.
I like Sam Darnold more than Baker, but my criteria for this is based on the current situation.
Okay,
Two great receivers, two great backs, two very good tight ends. They solved their tackle issue. I would be shocked if Baker does not rebound. Now, I don't buy into this. He's going to get MVP votes. That's a big narrative night right now. There's just too many good quarterbacks out there. I would be shocked if they don't have a winning record. I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't make the playoffs. I would be surprised if they don't make the playoffs. But I do think there's going to be more humility with Baker this year. I think Stefanski is going to hold his feet to the fire. And let's be honest, he's just going to have better protection. I mean, Cleveland was a good center and nonsense on the offensive line. Now they got a good center and two legitimate tackles. Jedrick Wills from Alabama, I think, was the best tackle in the draft, and they got him.
Number 8.
That's Sam Darnold. Now he's got a bunch of new parts. He doesn't have nearly the wide receivers of Baker or the running backs or the tight ends, but I think he's special. I think he's bigger than Baker, stronger than Baker, more athletic than Baker. I think he's a really special player. Last year, at the end of the year, it's remarkable. He went 6-2 last 8 games, 15 TDs, 4 picks, and I mean working with lawn chairs and deck furniture, working with nothing. I don't even think the coaching staff likes each other there. So I like Darnold more than Baker. I think if you gave Darnold Baker's players and Baker Darnold's, you'd see what I believe to be true. But I think Sam has some limitations this year just based on what he's surrounded by, which is a bunch of new parts on the O-line.
Number 9.
Phillip Rivers. Again, this is perfect for him. He's not athletic and he throws too many picks. That jersey's not going to get dirty this year. He's going to have oodles of time to throw. The Colts have an underrated defensive front and underrated running game. I think this is the best fit for him. I just think he's really limited. He feels like Eli Manning's last 2 years, where he'll have games and moments. I think he's a fairly limited athlete at this point. But to his credit and to Indy's credit, this is where he should play. I mean, this is like stand back and throw some darts, and I think he'll be fairly productive. They added Michael Pittman in the draft, who I love from USC, and Jonathan Taylor, the running back. So he's got some interesting weapons.
Number 10.
I would say Drew Lock at Denver. Now, I'm much higher on Drew Lock than anybody else. I think he's got a big arm. I think they have really done a nice job as an organization. He's got 2 backs, multiple receivers. Their wide receiving core, if it's as good as I think, could end up being one of the top 3 or 4 wide receiving cores in football. They got Judy out of Alabama. Now, you're going to say, what about Ryan Tannehill?
No.
Ryan Tannehill is recency bias. He's a 500 quarterback in his career. Well, what about Derek Carr? I think Derek Carr and John Gruden have issues. What about Tyrod Taylor, who I like? I don't know if he's starting by December. So those guys were my 10. I think Drew Lock is going to be, and I've said this, I think he's my pop quarterback this year. Every year, the last 4 years, there's been a second-year guy that's popped. It was Wentz, it was Lamar, it was Mahomes. I think Drew Lock is the pop guy this year. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so to go back, Derek Carr needs to be on this list. There's no, I mean, Derek Carr could be whatever y'all think he is. Derek Carr is better than Phillip Rivers. Derek Carr is better than Drew Lock. Derek Carr is better than Sam Darnold. And Derek Carr is better than Baker Mayfield. I think Darnold's better than Baker Mayfield, even despite the situation, just because Baker Mayfield is turnover prone. Do I think Lock should be on this list? I think he needs a season to prove that. I think it's a little bit too early to put him on a list like this. But I'm really trying to think of other quarterbacks in the AFC, and god damn, that shit really is ass. Like, okay, so you got you got Gardner Minshew, which I wouldn't put on no goddamn list. No, fuck no. You got... No, I wouldn't put... Because, I mean, if you're going to put Drew Lock on this list, you might as well go on... Well, I guess not, because he did say predicament. But I was just going to say he might as well go on and put Joe Burrow on the list, too. Fuck. The quarterbacks in the AFC just aren't like that. Damn. Bitch, I can't think of none. The only name that comes up to mind is Derek Carr. And he has Phillip Rivers on this list. But Cam's top 5 for sure. I think the Cam and Josh Allen thing's a little bit, like, give or take. it depends on the type of leap that Josh Allen takes this year, because he did add Stephon Diggs, and his team is offensively better than Cam's. But I think Cam's been dealing with offensively deficient teams for Lord knows how long now. Because he pretty much was Carolina's offense in his peak years. And then, like, last year was, like, the best the receiving core has been, and he got hurt. So, like, he didn't really got a chance to prove anything. I think he should be number 4. I think Josh Allen at this point can be better than Big Ben. They both have the same turnover issues, but Josh Allen's more mobile, so that gets him another dimension on the field. Again, younger too. I'd put Roethlisberger at 6. I'd put Darnold 7. No, I put Carr 7, Darnold 8, Mayfield 9, and then 10's like just whatever. It's a toss-up because I really can't think of no quarterback. Let's see if the comment section came up with anybody. Ryan Tannehill shouldn't be on this goddamn list, no. Yeah, okay, so that's the only name I could have come up with. Derek Carr should have been on the list. Yeah, Cam needed to be. The comment section just flaming this nigga up. Nah, they really... Yeah, nobody really said anything else. Noon at 8. No, this nigga's just straight up wrong. Shit, no, there's really no other name, just Derek Carr. Fuck. That's so weak. That's funny how they play in that contradiction. But I don't think that's he's not saying talent though. I think that's what the comment section not realizing. He's not saying talent. He's saying like team situation. But even then, the Raiders were fine last season. Weren't they like 8-8? I would switch Lamar and Watson. Lamar is like the best rushing quarterback we've seen since Vic, so no. I have no problems, I guess. That's gonna do it though. Leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.